I promise you, the more that you feel struggle and stress, and the more that life feels like, why the fuck is this happening to me? It's the bigger the reward will be. However, you won't ever get to experience the reward if you're not willing to become a certain type of person. If you're not willing to sit with what feels like the end of the world and slowly but surely convince and train your brain that it isn't, right? What I've come to notice, and this is just as a fiction lover, as someone who loves reading books, as someone who loves listening to them on Audible, what I always notice is that the characters, like, they always go through some shit in the beginning. They always have the worst life, okay? They always have people who treat them like shit. They always have people who don't believe in them. Yet still, in the end, they end up with the girl. They end up with the dream life. They end up with the thousands. They end up with something that is way beyond what they probably could have imagined in the beginning. And this is also the plot of movies. I mean, name one movie where in the plot there isn't some struggle, right? Where the main character isn't going through hell and back. This is how we have to start looking at our lives as well. Like, the bigger the struggle you face, it's just there to help you become a strong person, because the more you struggle and the more that you learn how to overcome that struggle is the stronger you're going to be. And the stronger you become is the more resilient you become, and the more resilient you become is the more you're able to create a certain type of life that most people wish they had. We're going to be talking about how to transmute the struggle that you feel into power, and how to shift your perspective to see that life as it is right now is a tool. Everything that you're experiencing, there's either a lesson or a blessing in it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hello and welcome back. My name is Juditha. I am your mindset coach. I am your dream life advocate. On this channel, we talk about all the things that matter when you're creating your dream life, from your fears, your insecurities, getting out of your comfort zone, mastering your mind, all the good stuff, because I've been where you are. Sometimes I'm still there. So trust me when I say that I get it. Okay, let's get straight into today's video. I'm going to explain to you why the more that you are struggling means that there is more that's going to be given to you in the future if you can just stick it out. So the first thing that I want you to know is that stress and struggle is a choice. This is something that I learned years ago, and it's still something that I have to master, because having the knowledge is one thing. Applying it is a whole nother thing, right? Let me explain why stress and struggle is a choice. Because what I consider to be stressful might not be something that you consider to be stressful. And what you consider to be stressful might not be something that I consider to be stressful. So that tells us immediately that stress is subjective, right? It's up to the person to decide how stressful something is. It's up to your nervous system, right? It depends on how well you've managed your brain up to that point in your life. That's what determines what does and doesn't stress you out, right? And it's something that you can definitely train yourself to not be stressed out by things that used to stress you out, right? Like, for me, a good example is I could remember so many times, especially in college, when I would be so, like, I would have anxiety just by the thought of checking my bank account. Like, I would just want to avoid it. And the times when I had to look, I would feel so stressed out about it. And this is something that I had to undo. And the way that I undid it was, I don't check my bank account when I feel any anxiety, when I feel any stress. I make sure that I'm in a state of feeling like I have enough. I always have enough. I've made it this far in my life, and there's never been a point where I've had to go without, right? Sometimes our brain and our nervous system, like, I don't know about y'all, but specifically for me, the way that I grew up, watching my mom in survival mode all the time, watching her scrape, to get by, that is registered in my nervous system. So I grew up, without even realizing it, with a fear of, like, just never having enough, right? A fear that just as fast as money comes, it goes. So because of that, my nervous system was wired to stress out when it comes to money. So this is something that I had to undo and unlearn. And it's something that you will probably have to do for yourself. The whole point is that I stopped choosing stress, and I did it slowly. I did it by paying attention to how I felt before I checked my account. I did it by talking to myself in a certain way before and after I checked my account, and reassuring myself that, like, whatever fear or anxiety I feel, it's not real. So that's the first thing I want you to look at and really think about. The second thing that I really want you to pay attention to, and I think that this is an underrated, like, way to brainwash yourself to believe in your success. This is an underrated way to believe in a dream that feels too fucking big for where you are right now, right? Look at the lives of people that you consider to be successful. And something that you're going to notice is that there is a pattern, right? in most people, there's a pattern where you've seen where at some point in their life, like they did stress, they did struggle, they did feel at some point that where they are is all they'll ever have. Like, there was a point where they almost gave up. Doechii, like, I don't listen to her music, but I listen to her story, and I listen to how much belief she had to have in herself. I listen to how she was homeless, right? There is so many celebrities, so many successful people that have stories that start like this. So it would be a shame for you to believe that your success story might not just start like this, like, right? Like, that the struggle that you feel, the stress, the anything that just feels like it's not working out right now, it would be a shame if you didn't choose to see this as the starting point of a bomb ass story that you're going to be able to tell in a few years, because that has been the case with so many people. What separates those that succeed from those that don't is their ability to know that what is isn't all that will be, right? They are able to convince themselves that they're able to be delusional, right? This is where the delusion comes in when it comes to success. You have to be delusional enough to look around at your surroundings and say, I don't give a fuck what I see. I'm going to be rich as fuck. I don't give a fuck what I drive. I'm going to be driving the car of my dreams. I don't give a fuck what's in my bank account right now. Eventually, it's going to be millions. Eventually, there's going to be commas in there. That is what all those successful people have in common. They did not allow their current reality to keep them stuck. Instead, what they did was they allowed themselves to have the breakdowns. They allowed themselves to have the doubt. But they did not make it be the end of the world. They did not make it mean this is where I quit, right? I have slowly but surely become someone who quitting just isn't an option for me, right? And that sounds good in essence, right? It sounds strong. It sounds brave. It sounds like, damn, I want to think like that. However, what that really means is that I am committing to struggling and not making it the end of the world. I am committing to sometimes being completely uncertain about what to do next. I am committed to always trying to figure it out. Like, having a mindset where you don't quit sounds good, but it's hard as fuck, right? Because it's a lot of shit that comes along with that. You have to look at your life, look at the worst things about it, and ask yourself, like, how can I see this in a different light? What is the lesson that I can pull from this? I don't have enough. Maybe I need to learn how to save more. Maybe I need to learn how to think better about money. I don't have support. Maybe I need to learn how to isolate. Maybe I need to learn how to rely on myself, right? No one is believing in what I believe in. Maybe I need to learn to stand on my own. Whatever the struggle is, there is a lesson, right? And I dare you to be delusional about it. I dare you to find the smallest lesson or the blessing in where you are. I dare you to try to be grateful for whatever you have, as much or as little as it is. Because I promise you, there is no way in hell that you will not live a successful as fuck ass life, a bomb ass life, if you can sit in the struggle, if you can sit in whatever it is that life looks like right now and not quit and take action and pray about it, right? And have faith and actually go beyond having faith and go into the point where you just know even if the doubt comes up, there is some crazy part of you that for some reason believes that you can be successful no matter what reality is telling you right now. If you can become that type of person, life as you know it will shift dramatically. And it's not because a lot of things will change. Like, in the beginning, when you start to adopt this type of mindset, where you start to adopt the perspective and you shift your perception to where you start to see that everything is happening for you, in the beginning, it'll feel as if so much has changed, even when your physical environment hasn't changed. Because so much, like, having a good life has nothing to do with what you have. It has nothing to do with who you have. It has nothing to do with what's around you. As hard as it sounds, having a good life is actually about the mindset that you have. It's about the way that you're able to perceive life and challenges. That's what makes a good life a good life. That's what makes an easy life an easy life. Okay, it's your perspective. It's what's in here. If you can manage what's going on in here, life will have no choice but to reflect who you've become, right? Because this is something else to remember. What you see on the external is simply just a reflection of what's going on the internal. Period. Life is a mirror. Your world is a mirror. Your job is a mirror. The people around you is a mirror, right? They're always mirroring back to you something. And when you can become the type of person who can look into the mirror and decipher what the reflection is trying to teach you or tell you, that's how life becomes easier. That's how you make life your bitch, right? That's how you become someone who is successful, right? Because that is all successful people have done. They have mastered their mind. They have mastered their perception. They have mastered their focus. They have mastered their identity, their ability to keep evolving into the type of person who can create the things that they say they want, who not only can create it, but can hold it and grow it. Okay? And that's your job. So the last thing I want to leave you with is, if life feels like shit right now, perfect. Okay, you are right where you need to be. You are right where most people who are millionaires, most people who are successful, you are right where they begun. So this doesn't mean it's the end. This doesn't mean that you're helpless. This doesn't mean that you're hopeless. This just means that you are in the beginning of success. And if you can hold on to the vision long enough, life will change for you very quickly. And even if it's not quick, I promise you, eventually it will. And when it does happen, you will never look back and you will never be sad about how long it took. You're just going to be happy as hell that it happened. Okay? That is it for today. I hope this message was helpful. I hope you grew today. Make sure you let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway is from this video. And also, ladies, before you go, I am going to drop a link in my bio to join the waitlist for my mindset community. It is called the REWIRE Society, and I named it that for a reason. It's because we are rewiring your mind. We are rewiring your identity. I am teaching you how to become the type of person who doesn't quit. I am teaching you how to become the woman who creates your dream life no matter what your current reality is looking like. That link is going to be in the description box. Go ahead and click it. Just get your name on the wait list and we'll take it from there, okay? I will see you guys on the next one.